Right, it's part two, guys. Yeah. The Father has life in himself. The Father is a source of life. And that source of life that the Father has, he granted the Son to have life in himself also. The reason why the Father grants the Son to have life in himself is because the Son comes from the Father. He was birthed from the Father. That DNA was passed on to Jesus. Jesus is saying that the source of life the Father has, he gave that to me because he birthed me. I'm his son. It was passed down on to me. Yeah, I'm his daddy. I'm his son. He's my daddy. Yeah, bragging obviously. That's all right. That makes sense. That makes more sense. If we believe that Jesus is some spiritual, just it's the son of Jesus being the son's a spiritual title. This passage doesn't really make. You have to. You have to come up with a way to get around it. Yeah, it's exaggeration of speech. It's hyperbolic. It doesn't make any sense. I'm saying. Whereas if Jesus was born, begotten, made, don't hate me, guys. It now makes sense. You know, it makes sense. It was passed down. Yeah, that the DNA the Father has was passed down to the Son. Yeah. So I'm saying. Yeah. Ivan, what did Jesus look like in eternity? He was spirit. Um, I believe supposedly the way Jesus looked like the way Jesus looked like if Jesus was really real, he would look like me, obviously, because I'm the spitting image of God, right? I have the God DNA. Whenever you guys think of Jesus, you think of me, obviously, like a Jewish man who looks like Ivan Omer, right? Yeah, the perfect man, right? You think of me, obviously. Don't hate me, I'm saying, yeah, with my beard and everything. But I believe the way Jesus looked like in human form, that's how he looks like in spirit. Except his spirit is immaterial. It doesn't. It's not a body, obviously. What Jesus is a spitting image of what of himself, obviously. The way he looked like as a human being, that's what he looked like in eternity in spirit form. Obviously. What about the Father? The Father looks is like an older dude. He looks a lot like Jesus, obviously, and he's an older dude, obviously. Obviously. Because when you read the Revelations, it says the Ancient of Days. So my guess is the Father, if he became human, he would look exactly like Jesus, but he would look like older, a little older. You know how you have Thor, you know Chris Hemsworth, you know how you have Odin, um, what's that guy's name again? You know how Odin looks very elderly and he's the father of Thor. Yeah, something like that. Jesus is a younger guy. He looks like 35. The father is a little bit of an older dude. Yeah, that's the way I see it. That's just my theory on it, but that's the way I see it. Obviously, if the father became human, obviously. Samsara. All you Christians are wild by this. Yeah, Ivan, man, you like going deep. Yeah, I'm gonna go deep. Stay tuned for my video next year. I'll show my face. I'm gonna do a video with a board. I'm gonna make two videos about one about the holy nature of Jesus and the one about him being born. Obviously, I'm also gonna compare the translations. Okay, compare the New King James and King James to the NIV and the Catholic Bible. Huge difference. The NIV they try to avoid this topic. They say in a close relationship with the Father. And when you read the New King James and King James, it says in the bosom of the Father. It's a clear difference between close relation to the Father. Yeah, let's try and force our what our begotten, not made what bias into this text here. Let's say in a close relationship with the Father. When you read the New King James, which is based off the Byzantine text, obviously, it says in the bosom of the Father. It's a difference. Yeah, bosom of the Father. That kind of sounds like Jesus was born. Yeah. Whereas in the close relation to the Father, Jesus had an eternal relationship with the Father. I agree, Jesus had an eternal relationship with the Father, but not in the sense that most Christians and preachers believe that Jesus was just there. He's the son, but he's not really the son. It's a spiritual title, the gobbledygook, right? And the father is his father, but what? He's not really his father. It's a spiritual title, and they were intimate together. They had an eternal relationship together. No, Jesus was in the bosom of the Father. He was birthed in eternity, and he had a relationship with the Father in eternity past. The Father showed him all things, showed him all the tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus says in the New Testament, obviously, taught him all things, obviously, and what? And they created the universe. Yeah. That's the way I see it. Father groomed him, yeah. Obviously. It all makes sense, right? Yeah. Anyways, I'm done with the Bible here. So all you Christians, if I'm wrong, refute me. I may be wrong, guys. If I'm wrong, forgive me. Support the Bible's fast, anyways. If I'm wrong, excuse my errors. But I recommend you go over the passages. Read John 5, 17. Read all the way to the passage where Jesus talks about the Son, the Father has life in himself. And that life that the Father has, he granted the Son to have life in himself, to have life in himself. Sarah. Now, why is Jesus granted the very life the Father has? Because the Father birthed him. Does that make sense? You know how that makes sense? Yeah. The Father, I'm paraphrasing here, the Father has life in himself, obviously, and he has granted the Son that same life that he has. Because he birthed him, just like a parent. In other words, Jesus is pretty much saying the Father granted me life. He birthed me. Because I have his DNA, I have that same source of life that he has. Because I have his DNA. He's my daddy. I can do everything he can do. Yeah, he's bragging Jesus. Yeah, it makes sense. Sometimes, yeah, it makes more sense. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense, right? It makes sense, right? Makes sense, David Wood? It makes sense, right? Yeah. That's the way I see it anyways. If I'm wrong, then refute me. I'm not infallible. I can make errors, obviously, but I think that's what the passage means. So I'm saying? Yeah. Thought it'd be cool to go in deep for you guys, reading the Bible. Anyways, I'll talk about Skypes here for the remaining, 20 minutes. I'm only going to make a 1 hour video, guys, so I'm tired here. I'm fucking tired, and yeah. Some Sarah? Yeah, so Skydance Entertainment will be the biggest film brand in the entertainment industry. Bigger than Warner Bros., Universal, Lionsgate, Paramount, Netflix, Disney. It'll be bigger than all those companies. That's how Boss Movies are going to be, man. Look at the top notch company we're going to own. Yeah, man. My games will be better than all these games that come out, too, right? Guys, if you think Last of Us was good, you know what I'm saying? If you think the quality of that game was good, Xenos will blow out of the water. Last of Us was only made for, like, I think $200 million. Around there, right? I'm making the Xenos game for $460 million. Yeah, if you think Hitman, Last of Us is good, the Great Escape game will be better than those games. Obviously. The story may not top. Last of Us is an amazing story. It may not top. I think it will though, because I'm gonna follow the movie with the Great Escape game with Keanu Reeves and all them, or the Matrix, right? The Matrix game will be better than the Great Escape. Because it's cooler playing as me as Neo than playing as me and VJ as Secret Agents, right? But the Great Escape game will be an amazing game. You play as me and VJ, we're secret agents. Yeah, man. That's fucking cool, huh? I'm gonna do a thing where you play as you can either play as me or you can either play as VJ Or you can play as both of us. You can do a dual like split screen, like Way Out. You can do that if you want. If you want, make it cool for the fans, obviously. Imagine playing as me and Victoria Justice. The characters look exactly like us. That's fucking cool. You see me reaching the cutscenes. It's fucking cool. Yeah, that's where the games will have a lot of buzz too. Obviously. Yeah, me reaching me boss. Yeah, man. Skysys will blow all the Hollywood companies out of the water. And that's why all the Hollywood actors are gonna work with me so bad. It's gonna be crazy. They're all gonna be sending in their reels, man. Ivan, when you have the actors coming in and read, no, it's just a waste of time and money. Just have them send reels. It's easier that way. I'll have the engineers design a reel system whereby the actors send the reels and then the script developers and and I'll have the like assistant director, they look over the reels, or I could hire a what a a casting a casting director to look over the reels. Obviously, you can hire a woman who has a man or woman who has Hollywood experience to look at the reels for you if you want. Obviously, you can do that if you want. Obviously, but for the Great Escape, I had most of my stars chosen, most of them. For Xenos, I have most of my stars chosen. Those are the actors I want in my movie. They're unique. The only ones I'm thinking of is Keija Appa and Zendaya for their unique. And for the Matrix, I have most of my stars chosen too. Michael B. Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I do the Matrix right, we'll see what happens. If I do the Matrix, those actors are lucky. They're gonna be saved for like 9, 10 years of their life. I'm doing a 3 movie trilogy for that. 10 years of being experienced with fame with IMVJ. And you're out of Hollywood for 10 years and you're making all that money. It's a fucking good deal, obviously. You're making your millions off the game and you're making your millions off the movie. Obviously. And you're making your what? I don't know, you're like 800, 900,000 million dollars off the merch deals. $1 million worth of money for the merch. 750K around there worth of money for the merch. It's a good deal, obviously, and the game too. Making you millions off the game, yeah. Yeah. So my first movie I'll do will be The Last Hope for Xanus. It'll be based off my novel that I wrote, The Last Hope for Xanus. Samsara? Yeah. That'll be my first movie. And you guys will see how amazing my book is. I don't mean to be cocky here once you read it. Look at the masterpiece that I wrote. Best fantasy novel ever written. Better than Lord of the Rings. Better than Way of Kings series. The Stormlight series, right? Better than his Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series. I'm hating Brandon Sanderson. Better than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. I never read the Harry Potter books. I never read it. No, I never read it. I think I read a bit of. I think I read one Harry Potter book, a little bit of it, but I never read the series. Vija, I think, read the series of Harry Potter. Yeah. Ivan, what fantasy books did you read? I read Narnia. Narnia is like my favorite. Narnia is my favorite. Narnia and Lord of the Rings are like my favorite fantasy series books. I love Narnia. I read the books like multiple times. I read like Lion and Witch and Wardrobe I think like 3, 4 times in my life. Prince Caspian I think I read that like 2, 3 times in my life. Last Battle I read a few times in my life. Silver Chair I remember I read that when I was in grade 9. I was hooked. I read the whole thing in like 2 days. I read the whole thing in like a week. I was hooked. The Lost I forgot what the story was about. That was a good book, man. Silver Chair. Voyage on Treasure I didn't read that. It looks boring. Horson's Boy, I didn't read that. Magician's Nephew, I read a little bit of it. And Last Battle, yeah. Only books I haven't read were Voyage of Dawn Treader, Horson's Boy, and Magician's Nephew, I did not read the whole thing. Magician's Nephew was pretty interesting, though. I might reread that. Reread Magician's Nephew. That's pretty good. I read other fantasy books, but I forget what they were called. I read that Norse book that I showed you guys like 4 years ago. When I talk about advice for authors, the one I showed you about 4 years ago, right? That book I read. I bought it on Amazon. That was pretty good. I forget what it was called though. That book was okay. Um, I didn't read much books in my life. The only fantasy books I read were Lord of the Rings, Narnia, and I read a few other ones. I forget what they were called though. I read a few other ones in my life. Oh, Redwall. I read Lord Brocktree of Redwall. I read that book. I read the whole book of that. I forget what it was about though. I read a Redwall too. Like one book of Redwall. That's it. Yeah, yeah. My book would better than all those books, man. Malazan, Will of Time. You know what I'm saying? Brian Lee Durfee's Don't Hate Me, Brian Lee Durfee. Forgotten Mood. Zane's is a better book than that, man. Ivan, how do you know your book's better than Brian Lee Durfee's book? Because Brian Lee Durfee's book is not as good as Game of Thrones or what or Stormlight series. It's not as good as those books. Obviously, some Sarah. And it's not as good as Lord of the Rings. Definitely not as good as Lord of the Rings. And I read Lord of the Rings. It's a good book, but I don't mean to be rude here. It's a bit boring, man. Like for me, anyways. When I read the books, man, sometimes I was bored. I was very bored. But I can't deny, even if I was a bit bored, I can't deny the masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. But Lord of the Rings is like a boring masterpiece. That's the way I see it. It's a masterpiece, but it's a boring book. It's pretty boring, man. I don't want to lie here, man. Lord of the Rings, guys, read it for yourself. It's dry, it's dated, it's a bit boring in some sections. My book is not like that. My book, when you read it, it's fresh. Don't hate me, you know what I'm saying? It's fresh. It's interesting. When you read it, you're hooked. And that's why when Peter and Mel read my book, Peter would tell me, Ivan, I'm gonna be honest here. I enjoy your book more than Lord of the Rings. Your book is more interesting than Lord of the Rings. Yes, where's your book, Lord of the Rings, man? Because I have the gift. I know, even though Tolkien was gifted, he doesn't have the gift of God like me. When I have the gift of God, my father gave me a gift. I'm a talented storyteller, man. I know how to tell good stories. As I have my movies planned, guys, and I gave you my idea for my movies. I have an idea for my Matrix trilogy. That's how gifted I am. I had an idea for their unique. I had an idea for the Great Escape. Zanus, the Hevaro movie. They're all gonna be masterpieces, man. I'm gifted, man. Yeah. But not too bright though. I'm not that smart of a guy. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty stupid. But when it comes to creativity, that's art. I'm gifted. I'm a genius when it comes to art. Yeah. I'm a creative genius. So Sarah. VJ's probably gifted too. She's probably very creative like me too, because she's God, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I take my notes with VJ for Zanus when she helps me with the notes. VJ's helped me out like crazy. I'm like, holy shit, VJ, you're fucking gifted. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, Ivan, you didn't know I'm creative too. I'm creative too, Ivan. I make music, I write songs. I'm creative too, Ivan. And VJ helps me with the notes that we're gonna take for the 3 volumes. And she'll help me a lot because I saved her ass. And it's because of me, I made this money for me and you. I don't know, my $9.5 million. You're free with me. You can see the light. The only one who sees the light. Don't hate me, I'm saying. And I saved your ass. I died for you. She'll help me, man. She'll appreciate me a lot. She no longer cries. She has Ivan all to herself. I have her all to myself. You know what I'm saying? We have the going beauty. We're free. We have our financial control. You get to be a big movie star with me. Because of me, you get to have all this. Owning your own 3 condo, your own jet, your own yacht, traveling around the world. You know what I'm saying? Buying our nice clothes, the label services, going to restaurants, events, cruising, clubs. It's because of me and you were going to bars, having a drink. Because of me and you were trending. Because of me, you're living this life with me. Hence why VJ will work hard for you. She'll help me a lot, obviously. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll help you. VJ, seriously, man, we have to be serious, man. I don't want you slacking off. I need you helping me with the notes. Yeah, I'm not helping. We go over the volume 1 and we take notes. That way, when I hire Peter or Mel, we're prepped. We have all our notes. We go over the notes with Peter and all of them or Mel, obviously. We showed them the pictures of what we're thinking of for Aerith. Okay, I want Aerith to be a hybrid of that, of Pennywise the Clown and this demonic video picture here that I showed you guys on Twitter. I want Ephesus to be a hybrid of the boss of Lord of the Rings, and that will be an animal. I'm sorry? Yeah, the bats look like that, the wolves look like that. That's really an amazing movie, yeah. That way Peter and them know. Peter's like, I want a werewolf. I'm like, Peter, no. I don't want Aerith looking like a werewolf, man. No, Peter. No werewolf Eritad. No wolf on four like Eritad. No. Big no. They're wolves, but they have... They're what? They don't look like werewolves. So I'm saying they look like these pictures here. I know what I'm doing. That way it's a better story. Peter will, yeah, even if it's a werewolf, it'll be a bit cheesy. Yeah, it'll be a bit cheesy if you have him as looking at a werewolf. It'll be good. It'll still be a masterpiece, obviously. Because Grandma del Toro and Peter might tell me, I want a werewolf. My guys, no, I don't want everything a werewolf, guys. No. No werewolf. No Grandma del Toro. No werewolves, I'm sorry. I'm sorry? Yeah. I'm sorry. So Peter, I'll pay him his 600 million contract. Canadian money, which is 45 million in New Zealand money. So Peter signed a $745 million deal. What about that with that? I'm like, Peter, stop. You're fucking greedy. I'm not gonna give you a $1 billion deal, man. Ivan, it's peanuts. That's not the point. The point is I'm not gonna pay you $1 billion deal, but you're fucking greedy, man. I want done with that, Ivan. I'm like, Peter, no, man. $745 million is enough. It's a deal, Ivan. I don't even make it Hollywood. Well, yeah. He's like, Ivan, that's a good deal for Peter. He doesn't make his Hollywood. This is like double what he made for Lord of the Rings. Yes, it's double what he made for Lord of the Rings. Stop being greedy, man. I was like, I've been trying, Ivan. I'm like, no. Ivan, what about the game? His agent will tell you that. You give Peter a nice piece of that. I'm like, no, man. Peter's not getting squat of the game. I'm not giving you any money for the game, Peter. Ivan, I'm building your empire. I'm like, Peter, you're building my movie empire. And because you're building my movie empire, I'll give you money for the merch, but you're not getting squat off the what? Off the game. Samsara. He'll consult for the game. I'll pay him maybe $30K to consult for the game. Like a couple times a month, me, Vijay, and Peter and like Squidwells, we consult for the game. Pay Peter a good $30K. Pay Peter $30,000 a year to consult maybe like a couple times a month for the game. You can do that if you want. I probably will. But he's not getting any money off the game. But I could have Peter help me and Vijay with the ideas for the merch if you want. Hey Peter, what are you thinking of for the L mugs and the clothing? Do you have any ideas? You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you money for this. You might as well help me out. I'll help you out. He'll help me out with that if you want. Have Peter help you out with some ideas for the merch if you want. Sit together with the photographer. You tell them your ideas, what you're thinking of for the pictures. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. The photographers can come up with ideas of what they want for the pictures. You can have Peter help you out with ideas for the merch. What kind of clothing, hats, all that stuff. You can help you out with that if you want. I'm sorry. And I'll make Xanius for 1.2 billion, $50 million. So $1 billion to $50 million. I'll make Xanius for. Because I know I'm going to run out of money. I want to put at least a good 203 towards each of the volumes for visual effects. And that's why I'm going to put an extra $50 million. Just in case I run out of money. I most likely will. I'm probably going to have maybe $25 million left over in the budget after that. Everything. I said $70 million. No, man. I'm probably going to have like maybe $20, $30 million over in the budget. So you have a bit of extra money. That way you put more money into visual effects. I want at least $203 million towards $203 million towards each of the volumes. That's what I want for the three volumes of Xanus. Put an equal amount of money. That way you don't see you don't see a drop in quality. Because I am tempted to put the most money towards Volume 3, because Volume 3 is where you get the big war. But if you do that, you're going to see a drop in quality when you watch the three movies. You don't want that happening. That's why I put an equal amount of money towards each of the volumes. That way you get the same quality. I know what I'm doing for three of the volumes. I'm sorry. And Mel Gibson, I'll pay him his like $290 million Canadian deal, which is like a $10 million American deal. It's good for him. He lives in America, right? Yeah. Obviously, that's a good deal for Mel Gibson, obviously. Ivan, what about the game? I'm like, Mel, you're not getting swap the game. Ivan, what about $300 in royalties? I'm like, no, Mel. $200 in royalties is enough. I'm not paying you more money, man. It's enough money. You don't even make this in Hollywood. It's a deal, Ivan. Yeah, I gave you a good deal. Stop being greedy, guys. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So let's say I choose Peter. Peter has to help me, obviously, correct the script. The 3 volumes of Zanus with it'll be me, Peter, and the 2 script developers, his wife Fran and Guillermo Toro can help us out a couple times a week. Peter has to help me correct those 3 volumes of Zanus. A lot of work, obviously, and he'll work hard. I'm like, Peter, I want like, Peter, I'm not kidding around. I want a script on the same level as the Lord of the Rings movie, not your Hobbit. Yeah, because don't worry about it. You might even get a better script than Lord of the Rings. Like, your book's a master. If you follow your book, you get an amazing script, Ivan. Yeah, Peter. If you follow the script, we'll get an amazing script. We need to work hard. We need to write a masterful script that we tell an amazing story. And I'll work hard because he got his Temple bonus. So work hard. Yeah, if I work hard, you pay me $10 million. I'll work hard for you, Ivan. Yeah, help me with the script. Obviously, you have to help me make the calls to the business calls. Obviously, the Birch Knuckle Hotel Party, red carpet event. Obviously, the IMS cameras, the equipment for the cameras, lighting equipment, sound equipment, visual effects equipment, costumes, armor, and weapons, machines for the mask. Obviously, I'm saying, yeah. Kitchen equipment, food. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you don't have to serve them like this food. Like, you're being too generous. Peter won't say that though, because Peter knows. Yeah, Ivan, it's good to serve them good food. It's not fun working for 1 year and they're getting such shitty food. Yeah, Peter, I know what I'm doing, man. It's not fun working in the middle of nowhere like you do for Lord of the Rings, and you're eating like spaghetti and chili. No, man. Serve them luxurious buffet with all you can eat ribs, wings, hamburger sliders, thin crust pizza, poutine, teriyaki rice, different options of teriyaki rice and meats, chicken balls, a huge salad bar. You know what I'm saying? Your coleslaw, your macaroni salad, your potato salad, your corn, your peas, your fish, your chicken with chicken. You can have chicken too, fish, sushi, if you like sushi, cucumbers, Brussels sprouts, tomatoes, all that stuff. Caesar salad, vegetarian salad, fish salad. Have your Cobb salad with chicken, right? Yeah. Your dressing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have a nice menu. All you can drink milkshake. You know what I'm saying? You have your soft drinks too. Yeah. Peter has to have a wallet, obviously. Peter has to take his notes once we do the console arts. Every when he goes to his hotel, he has to take his notes. We got him all Toro, and his wife Frank can help him out. Take your notes, Peter. I need you prepped. You have to help me sign the 4 groups of crewmen, Weather Workshop, mask designers, costume designers, and the extras. We're gonna assign those 4 groups of crewmen first year. They have to start doing that working second year. You gotta give them time. And he has to help me sign the stars second year. That's how it's gonna work. He also has to help me with the drafts. Because Peter's lazy, but Ivan, the script's good enough. I'm like, Peter, stop being fucking lazy. I don't pay you $10 million to slack off. We have to go over this at least 2 more times. we might have to do a few rewrites in a few sections. Chances are because we're gonna follow the book, you're looking at a masterful script. Chances are we only have to follow maybe we only have to maybe do maybe a few rewrites here and there. It's not that much work. Some Sarah. Minor rewrites because if you follow the book, you'll get an amazing script. And Peter has to help me sign the Star second year. John Boyega, Idris Elba, Jimo Hansu, Alvan Joje, Andy Serkis, Angelina Bassett, Ariana Grande, Danielle Minette, Don Cheadle or Vigo. Most likely Don Cheadle. Don't hate me Vigo, I'm saying. John Rice Davis. Yeah. Carl Urban. All those guys. And you guys know how much money I want to pay all those guys. Peter, don't be cheap. Pay Avondre supervised $4 million. Don't pay him $500K. That's good enough. I'm like, Peter, no, don't pay him that, man. Pay him a supervised $4 million. Because he's greedy and cheap. He's blind by his greed. I'll say, that's good enough. I'm like, no, man, don't pay him $500K. Pay him supervised $4 million. Stop being cheap. He's not worth that. I'm like, Peter, stop being blinded by your greed and pay him his supervised $4 million. Don't pay him a shitty contract. It's not a shitty contract. It's a good contract. I'm like, Peter, no. Pay his supervised $4 million. Don't be cheap, son. Yeah. And VJ's cheap too. Don't be cheap and pay John Boyega like $3 million. No, pay him his $8.5 to like $8.9 million. That way he gets paid. He's a supporting lead. Make sure he's in a lot of scenes. Make sure he's playing role my cousin. You know what I'm saying, make sure he gets paid. I'm saying, and I'll sign the man Digimon to himself. I'll pay him like a nice because I'm not cheap. I'll make sure he gets paid. I'll pay him like his $10.4 million salary, and I'll give him 6.6 million royalties. That's good. That's good though for him. And John Boyega, VJ can pay him his $8.5 to $8.9 million. Give him $5.5 million of the box office royalties. And then Alvan Joje, pay him his 3.5 to 4 and give him $5.5 million of the box office royalties. That's a good deal for them. You sign him to a rich deal for the game too. I'm saying 1.5 for John and Alvan, and Digimon Su pay him like 1.7, 1.8. I'm saying. And Jimon Su pay him like $1.7, $1.8 million. That's good enough for him. I'm sorry. And that's my Scott. And after that, you take him out to his dinner. All this is on dinner, and you part up your con and give it cheers. Success. And that's the beginning of the actor's journey for Zayn, obviously. Yeah. And it was this for. I hope you guys enjoyed this video about the Bible and my Scottish comedy. Stay tuned. So I remember I'm signing off. Peace. Bye, guys.